So one other question about the reunion, because you already cleared up the one question I had. Is there anything? It's not a real question, but is there anything that you'd like to clear up that we didn't necessarily see? Because really, that was some drama. There was two episodes. Is there anything that you'd like to clear up that you feel like maybe the public or the viewers didn't really get a chance to see? Or you think you leave it on the table and keep it moving?
Well, I know Chrisette is an issue somewhere in there. But I don't know. What's funny is everything she accused me of, she was doing at that second. Being mean and being two-faced or whatever. I don't even know. I don't even really understand all of her issue with me. I'm sure we'll figure it out. But the thing was, I thought she just spoke disrespectfully. And it's not that I'm like, oh, you must respect me. Mm-hmm. Just person to person, you have to speak to people with kindness. And it seemed pretentious that she would be, I won't even speak to you. I shan't even. I'm like, just be regular, because off screen you don't talk like that. You don't,
You are really good at personation. So I'm sorry.
I am, huh?
Yeah, because I feel like she might be here.
Yes. And the pink elephant subject, that was really a major thing for me, because I'm not one to avoid confrontation about anything.
Okay.
Anything. You can talk to me about everything. If it's, I don't like you, I don't like your hair, I don't like your attitude, I don't like your shoes, I don't like whatever it is, I don't like what you did yesterday, and you ain't gonna do it tomorrow. Any of that is all fine with me.
Okay.
But if you accuse me of not talking about something, then you don't know me very well. You clearly haven't had a real interaction with me, because honestly, she did talk to me about what was going on. And I did say, I'm open to have a conversation. What's funny is behind me that moment, I had a letter from her that said, I was a mean girl. No one should have been treated like that. It was disrespectful for me to speak to you and treat you the way I did. You didn't deserve it, and I'm sorry. Why I didn't bring it out? I just thought it was petty. I just thought, let's not, and say we did. And for her to record me while talking on the phone, that was illegal, first of all. And then secondly, I didn't say what she said I said. I never said I'm afraid or nervous or being taken over by newbies or something like that. That's not even my language. I don't even say newbies. I don't even speak that. That's that cool language of the hipsters. I'm not hip. I'm goofy. I'm a goofy girl. And I'm happy that they're there. I know there's 5 other women on the show. I want all of them to shine. As you saw, every time there was anything that happened with them, I consistently, and every single time, I would be clapping and celebrating them and encouraging them. Even when they talked behind my back and they came in front, I was like, you do good tonight. You go and kill them.
And did that come from a sincere place?
Absolutely. Them being great, that only makes us all great on the show.
Right.
You being great before you got here just brings your fans to look at all of us. It's not a bad thing. Okay. I don't have that kind of insecurity. And the funny thing is that I've been in the industry for 20 years, and they go, you always talking about you've been in the industry for 20 years. But I'm going, if you were mature enough to get what I'm saying is, I don't have time to compete with you. I don't have time to compete with Mariah or anybody else. We all have a place. There's 100 spots on the top 100. 100.
Right.
There are top 10 because there's 10 places for people to be. How about if you're not on the top 10, you can still sell millions of records? Just because you have a Grammy or a top 10 or nobody heard you, there's millions of people who are on the internet this second making millions. We don't even know their name just yet.
Right.
But you will. But that doesn't take away from who I am or who they are. You got to know who you are. You just got to know. And nobody can tell you who you are. And if you let them tell you who you are, they'll tell you what you're not as well.
That should be on a t-shirt.
It's the truth.
Next season is coming up. We're excited. Are we not? Are
excited?
Yeah,
I am excited because I have a book that came out. And it's really going to be an amazing movement for me.
Are we going to see that on the show?
Absolutely.
Okay, keep going. I'm sorry to interject.
No, it's okay. I'm excited about it because that is really what I am about. I'm about empowering women and men. Women, especially single women, married women, anybody who's been in the place where you feel like you've lost yourself and you really want to get to a place where you can look at you in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm okay with me. I'm really okay with me. And I've made mistakes. I see that, and I see that. And it's okay because now I learn from that this, and I learn from that, or I learn from this over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what life is about, is looking through the journey and gaining power and learning from your mistakes. And this book is not about me saying, I know what to do now because I done been mad so many times, I got this. No. I'm saying I've messed up enough time for all of us. You want to learn from my mistakes? Do you?
Well, listen, I want to ask about, this has something to do with your book, your love life. We saw a man on the show. What's our relationship status? Is it?
What's our relationship status?
Yeah.
You're and mine?
Like yours.
He's Roy.
Okay. Okay. All right. On the show, you mentioned that there was you went through it kind of on the season, the custody battle. You won, right?
I did. I wanted joint custody. Let me make that short.
Okay.
Certain, clear is the word. He wanted things to be a different balance.
Okay.
And I wanted it to be joint custody. I want my son to be with his father. He didn't choose who his daddy. I chose his daddy.
Right.
So I wanted us to split custody, and that's what it ended up being.
Has a co-parenting, I don't know if it was bad before, but has it gotten better since? All right. Okay. Let's talk about other stuff. We talked about the book a little bit. I feel like I kind of already know this question, and you kind of talked about a little bit, like what inspired really the title, the book and the title?
Wow. Being that I've been married a couple times, just a couple, and having that question asked for every woman, we wait for it. You know, he's like, oh, has he asked you to marry? Girl, he ain't asked you to marry him yet.
Right.
So I wanted to empower women and myself and say, you know what? Will I marry me? Not will you marry me?
Yeah.
Will I marry me? Will it be something that I choose? If I could put me on paper and I looked at all the lists and all the things about who I am and who I'm not, would I marry that girl? And so, yeah, I know, huh?
I don't like that question.
That's what the journey is about.
Yeah.
Is looking at our failures, our shortcomings, and strengthening those, and then looking at the things that are positive about us, because we're not just all bad. Just because you've been married before doesn't make you use goods. It really does make you more experienced, and you go, you know what? I know that once you get married, this changes in me, and I feel like this happened, and my husband was my boyfriend, and my boyfriend was like this, and then when he became my husband, it was kind of like that. So it makes you more prepared for something more, for either marrying again or dating or whatever it is. You can't look at it like it's the end of something. It really is an eye-opening experience, and to have been married a few times, then that helps me understand that first of all, I'm the common denominator between all the marriages. Okay. I chose them. I said yes to the one who asked me. And what's important to me now is to realize and discover what it is about me, first of all, that would say yes when I know deep down inside there was a no, or there was a question in there. Why would I do that to myself? That's the thing I need to get for me. And that's why I started writing this book, is to really examine myself. Because again, I was going, I'm not happy. How come he ain't making me happy? And he ain't this. And God was like, excuse me, little girl. What have you done about working on you?
So did you have some epiphany, or?
Yeah, he tapped me on the shoulder and said, pow!
Okay.
Again, I was sitting in a marriage that I wasn't happy with.
Okay.
Again, I was unhappy with how he's treating me and how he this and he that. And literally, I'm a Christian, and I believe the Lord does speak to us and pull us different directions and help us to understand things and turn the lights on in our head. Sometimes people hear voices. Sometimes they just know that this is what God is trying to tell me to do. I knew at that moment that God was like, look at yourself. Stop worrying about anybody else, everybody else. Start worrying about you. Where is it that you need to fix something? You got a list about he needs 6 figures, he needs this in the bank, and da-da-da, and cash and credit and all this, and driving 6, whatever. All of these things. But where's your credit? What are you doing? Have you worked on your insecurities, on certain things that you chop up about yourself? Do you have a relationship with your father that you want to have? There was questions I needed answered in those situations, and I began the journey of figuring out if I would marry myself, if I could get to that place where I was pleased enough with me, happy enough with me alone. And honestly, I've just gotten to the place where I'm okay, although I'm divorced. And so that's another thing, is to be happy and divorced. I've never been happily divorced. I've always been like, I'm gonna find the one. And that wasn't the one, but I'm gonna find the one. Here he comes, he's coming. I'm like, no, I'm good right here. That's why I'm kind of slow with saying who Roy is. Roy is Roy. And he's a very, very good man. He's dependable, and he's smart, and he's protective, and he's kind, and he's strong, and it's just, he's all the things I would want in having a man. So he's there being a great man.
Okay, I'm with it.